Everyone, this is a very impromptu video. I came in here to work on an order and got sidetracked because I found this little waterfall journal. Someone had asked me, how did you bind it? In my video, I wasn't very clear about how I bound it. And I thought, well, I haven't bound this one yet. Maybe I ought to go do that and mess with it. So upon doing that, I started decorating the pages. And then upon doing that, I thought, I want to add to these pages. I want flips and folds, and I don't want this to be all there is. And in the middle of it, of course, I'm making clusters because I'm going to move you over here where you can see it actually helped. There's my little box. Look at all the goodness. There's my little Ann Kenton box. See, there's actually two boxes there. One of them was hidden, and I replaced it with this one. There's the other box. And, it's a little messy right now because I've been doing all the things this morning, but I'm really tickled with how those envelopes and that little box is working out for me. But anyway, just like that, just like the video, I got sidetracked and I started working on this. And I thought, you know what? Maybe somebody would like to see the thought process of a crazy person. So here I am. So I'm decorating this, right? And I found, it's an amazing what you find on your floor. So as I work on things and they get knocked off and it ends up on my floor. Or my grandson comes in and hands me things that are in a different basket. But look, these colors are going to go perfect with this. So I've kept it here thinking I may end up using it in this journal. Okay, so back to where I was, like I really remember where I was. But so that's the reason for the bits out here and the scraps. I've been actually getting into the box. But I'm starting to fill up some things, and I was going to use this book belongs to. I was real tickled because I found a pink one. There's a lot of pink in this book, and I'm not a pink person, but I couldn't believe I actually had pink. Flipped it over, and it's one that was printed wrong. Well, great. I've already done all the thinking or stamping and things, and I don't want to waste it now. So obviously I didn't want to waste it, or it wouldn't have been just, where it was at in the first place. So what I'm going to do, of course, is back it. And this rust paper was laying here, so I thought, why not? What a perfect thing to back it with. But I don't know. Some of it's still going to shine through, so I need something a little bit darker. But that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to back it with paper and save it. And I know that you guys do that too. This is nothing earth-shattering or mind-blowing. Ooh, look. This one has a print. This was a blue tea-dye index card. But when it dried, that looks like a dolphin. When it dried, it must have been laying on another one that was, so it gave it vertical lines too. So I love that, and I'm going to back it with that. That'll be a perfect writing spot. And I'm going to do that while I'm telling you that as I was, working on this book and doing the things, and again, I came in here to package up an Etsy order and got all sidetracked. But I was doing all the things and I thought I wanted to do the flips and the flaps, right? Well, I knew I had more of that paper somewhere. I still can't find it. But do you ever find yourself, you pray, I pray, and talk to God about the dumbest things. I know he thinks sometimes, woman, can you not do just one thing by yourself? But I can. It's just easier to not. Anyway, so I'm praying, God, what I do with those? Could you help me here? I know you're busy. It's Sunday. A lot of people praying. And I I need to find my book. He kept saying, I kept hearing to look in the drawer, look in the drawer. Okay, the drawer is filled with my prototype journals. It ain't in there. I know it's not in there. So I didn't look. And I heard, you want my help, but you won't look where I'm telling you. Okay, fine. Look in the drawer. Of course it's not there. Because that is one thing I was sure of. Well, I thought I was sure of. It wasn't there. And the part that I'm looking for had all the papers that had the little cutouts and things in it. I still haven't found that. It's probably on the other end of this desk that I haven't tried to clean up yet. But what I did find in that drawer was my prototype book with the same papers that I'm not going to use. I'm not going to use it. So here are the papers that I can use to make that one. I was so tickled. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe if I would have listened, because yes, that is what I needed, a whole book full of those papers. So that was awesome. Thought that was a good answer. So anyway, I've just backed that tea-dyed index card, or blue tea index card, to the back of this. And now I'm going to have a writing spot, and we've saved the pink tag. Plus now I've got more scraps to put in my, I'm going to have to call that my Ann box. You know that, right, Ann? I mean, I think of you every time I use it. Okay. Guess I could ink right here and that wouldn't show, but there was a little bit of white there. So, ooh, look at all this goodness I have. I might keep that out and make some tags out of it. So I'm going to punch a hole again. And ink around it. Perfect writing spot. And oh, I love that rusty paper. Goodness sakes. I love that so much. I can't find my Q-tips. I know that's shocking, but I like to fill in the holes when I do this little bit right here with a Q-tip. It works really good, but I'll just use this sponge. Probably doesn't make a darn bit of difference, but I notice it, so therefore it gets filled in. I have a lot of, oh, and something else I found on my desk while I was looking for that book was a big bag of lace. Vintage lace that I think was gifted to me, really. Yeah. So isn't that awesome? So I'm going to just pull out some of that lace and make a tag topper. I think I'll use the off color. I like it pretty good. I love lace. But, being a grungy kind of journaler, I don't get to use it a whole lot. Well, I do. That's a lie. That's a lie too. I guess what I mean is I don't make pretty things with it. How about that? Okay, so we're going to tuck that right back in there. I want my lace to hang out, so I'm not going to do it like that. I'm just going to set it like that and let it peek out the top. And then also I printed one of the, I found this. It's a note from the bookmaker, and it's not one of mine. It's from, what's her name? I can't remember. She has a shop on Ko-fi. Can't remember. Anyway, I printed it on paper that at one point had some writing, so I trimmed it all down, inked around it, and it's also going to go in this little belly band. And this belly band came from a piece of laminated lace that I found on my desk while I was doing the cleaning things. This came from something on my desk. The number. So I just started putting random things. I made a little cluster. Had some stamps, so I made a pocket. Stamped the word urgent because there was a lot of letters and such on this. I thought that kind of fit. Made another little cluster. That's some of that rice paper, that faux rice paper. And this is some of the painted packaging. Made a pocket out of it. And I used some of this, I don't know what you call it. It's like washi fabric. I didn't make it, and I don't like it because the sticky on the back is really thick. Kind of reminds me of, I don't even know if there is such a thing, but it reminds me of like carpet tape. I mean, it's thick and gummy. And I try to peel it off because I love this fabric. It's beautiful. I just don't like the backing. So what I did was I used it on this hard packaging and it won't seep through ever. Here's a little piece of rust paper that I stamped on, and some little gold mesh I found on my desk, and some of these stamps. And look, this folds out, so there'd be a good writing spot back there. So that's where I'm at so far. Oh, I made one more little thing. I found this little ruffle on my desk, and give thanks. So I just stuck it there. But what I'm wanting to do, and I don't normally fill up a journal as I'm working on it. It's just working out that way because of what I was doing in the meantime. Ooh, look, I found another little piece of the painted cardboard. I think that would make a great pocket in here somewhere. It's those kind of antique colors. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the sheets from this one. And you know, I don't remember if you, on this video, instead of putting my thumb hole on the side, I put them on the top. No idea why. That was just silliness. Not paying attention. And so I thought, well, maybe some of these I could make pockets so that the thumb hole made sense at the top. But see, on this prototype, I put my thumb hole where it belongs, so I'll have to use one of the sheets that doesn't have a thumb hole when I back it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if it's directional, it'll be upside down. So what page would look good on the back of this? I don't guess it matters, does it? I'm just going to start deconstructing and using the things. Good news is this is a sturdy little fella, so that makes me feel good. It honestly does, I think. Wow. Okay, maybe I can't tear it apart. All right, there we go. So just like that, I have these beautiful papers again. Yay. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just back this one sheet. See how much I need of this. Make it a pocket. Get out my trusty ruler here. I love this paper. All of the things in this paper. So pretty. You know, I think I'm going to tear off this piece that was glued because it's very... Actually, I don't think I'll... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tear that off because it's thick and it won't lay very good, I think. what I think. Well, that didn't work. Look, it's still there. But it's flat now. I think I just pulled the glue off. But some of it's sticking out, so I think I'll trim that down. Maybe just with my decal edge scissors. These were the best thing. Found these at a secondhand shop. I don't remember how much. Not very much. But I can tell you I've certainly used them, whatever I gave for it. Seemed like it was $2 or I don't remember. Might have even been $4. If it was $4, still worth it because I've used them a ton. So I don't know, is this kind of like a craft with me? Is this what people do when they're not really teaching you anything? Ooh, but look, I can find my hole punch. Now, isn't that wonderful? So I'm going to glue this down. I'm probably not even in, bring you over just a little bit more. I'm going to glue this down. And then I'm going to punch my hole even with the other one. You know, though, I'm wondering about, so this is going to be a flip out. There's going to be a pocket. What if I put something here that flipped too? Wouldn't that look kind of cool? Because that's pretty paper. Now this is where my fold was at. What if I just glued it on down to this piece and then it folded out like it was supposed to for a writing spot? Is that going to make it too thick? No, it's not. That's going to be perfect. Okay, so let's do that. We just saved this wonderful punched piece, punched like it was supposed to be. We're going to use it. Yay! I'm doing the inside because that's what's going to show. And yes, there's some sewing, so you won't be able to, you know, write there, but that's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's a junk journal. That's what happens, right? Okay, so I'm going to glue this one to this piece. I already got the hinge. Isn't this wonderful? We don't even have to do much to it. Make sure it's even. That's it. I might have to end up using my Fabri-Tac to make it stick down on that sewing really good. Yeah, I think I need to. I don't want to take a chance that that will come up. Yeah, I think I want to use my Fabri-Tac. Now it's probably glued. Nope, still not. So, because it's setting there on those threads, so it's not really wanting to hang on. I love Fabri-Tac. It's my heavy duty thing. When things aren't wanting to stick, I pull out the Fabri-Tac. I'm like, okay, guys, you forced me into doing the big guy. Making sure both sides are going to close up well before I hold that down. I've got this ephemera on the front, and no, I normally don't add and do the things with the ephemera sitting on the front or in it. You know, I usually don't fill it up till we're done. But now that I've added that, I feel better that I'm not taking away from the writing by adding a pocket to this side. So isn't this working out good? So now I'm just going to glue around. Probably go ahead with the Fabri-Tac, even though it's just paper to paper. I don't really need to. I already got the bad boy out, so I'm going to make some use of it here. Just using my finger to make sure I'm lined up at the bottom. And I'm okay with letting some of the white show on both sides. You know, if I'd have thought, I would have run some washi tape down. Well, it's not too late. It's not glued down. Boy, I do the dumbest things, don't I? Washi tape or some of this. Look, I have some of this. It's like a, well, it is a measuring tape, but it's kind of plasticky. I thought maybe it was, I want something thinner to be in that seam. I thought maybe it was like material and it would, speaking of material, go to your junk box, Christy. I thought I had some like stamped ribbon thing. I know I do. Hope I didn't throw it away because I was, oh, there it is. I guess I put it with the ribbon. Maybe I could put this down. Piece of that, because it's thin. It's not going to bulk up my book or hurt the seam. Again, I could just get washi tape, but I thought of this. So now I have to use this. Very, very pretty. And I think, so it's not so white, just going to run my little dauber over it to take out some of that whiteness. Now I'm going to glue it down. And now I'm going to glue my pocket. I have to put some more glue though, because that's dried up. Messed around so long it dried up. I think I want this to hang off a little bit. See, I've left that deckled edge off a little bit. I think that's what I want so that I can ink it on the other side and make it have a really nice edge. Now I'm going to trim off the extra on that. Might have to get out my hacksaw. That stuff was really strong. Okay, now I'm going to cut my little thumb notch. Even it up with my front best I can. And then, even though there's a little bit of white, that's pretty, I'm going to just ink it and it will fit right in. This is going to end up being a really neat little journal, isn't it? I'm so tickled to use up those pages in my prototype. I mean, seriously. It's kind of like when I was making that file box that Anne had said, you know, sometimes the most obvious things escape me. Why I didn't think to use this. But thankfully, God showed me, hey, fool, look in the drawer. And there it was. So that's wonderful. So now we have a pocket here. I'm going to run my bone folder down in there. Make sure I didn't glue it together too much. I like to do that sometimes. Nice big pocket. And you know what might be good to go in there would be a book board. And you know what? I don't think it'll fit, but I think I want to make a book board out of this. Because I love that paper. It's already laminated and it's sewn. We're just going to dismantle this whole thing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this with a razor so that, because I don't think I can get my, well, yeah, I don't think I can get my scissors in there. I guess the good thing about deconstructing, ooh, look, some more fibers. Oh no, that's threads that are actually attached. The good thing about deconstructing your own journal, you get to see if they're sturdy enough to withstand, you know? not like this is meaning it would last for life, but it's good to know it's a little difficult to get apart. Oh, looky there. Isn't that pretty? Both sides are not laminated, but you know what? I have a back. I could make both sides laminated, and I could make my book board have a pocket if I wanted to. The only thing I don't like is that there's sewing, and normally on a writing board, I don't put sewing because I think, you know, when you're writing, you will hit that. You know, I think that's something for me to think about. I may just turn those into a book board. Okay, carrying on. Okay, so that's going to open up. Got a pocket. Got a flip. And I like that this is a little bit longer than in my pocket, so that, you know, really this is pretty. And I didn't glue down both sides of that, and I'm going to put a little glue on that. I'm real happy with how this is working out. Pretty. And you know, maybe this will help somebody else. Maybe you have a couple different journals, paper that you loved, and you think you ruined it, but you haven't. You can combine them and make one beautiful journal. And I'm just loving this 2 pieces. Not to mention, a lot of these pages have like where you could cut stuff out of them. And what's going to happen is when I'm done doing all the things, then God's going to let me find that book. But I just guess I don't need to find it right now. But I'm just tickled to pieces that I've found all of these papers. And I'm going to just keep working and doing. And I just kind of wanted to show you how my crazy mind works when I'm doing all the things. I thought we could do a page like that together. So I'm thinking about doing the same thing on this one, making it a pocket. Look at all the pockets we're going to have. This is going to end up being the coolest little journal. I love it. So far, I'm just loving it. So if I put a pocket back here, I do the same, and you know, each page I take apart, I can do the same thing on the next. So basically, I'm just doubling up what I started with, ain't I? I'm just basically building another layer, isn't it? And look, when it's open, look how pretty all these things are. Isn't that neat? Guess I can't get a hold of it, so out come the decal edge scissors again. You know what I could do is some of these that are out like this, I can sew on pockets, or, you know, add some lace and sew around. I love adding onto this journal. Plus, I think maybe it's also showing how you can add to a journal. Maybe you have a journal that's already done, and this is just showing all the ways we can add creativeness and build onto an existing journal, right? Gosh, I love this. So I think for this next piece, I am going to find some washi tape and strengthen that. Not that I think it needs it, because it's already doubled. See, it's already got 2, but I just like it. And that way, you know, the white isn't really showing. Okay, so what about some of these scraps instead of my washi? See, I couldn't hold the thought if I absolutely had to. Yeah, you know, some of those strips that had the rust water on it. What a great way to use that. Let's do that. Mm-hmm. And only reason I'm putting anything there, again, I don't think it needs to be strengthened. I just, because there's going to be, I'm leaving a little bit of white um, between the pages so that they have room to fold. And I just think this gives it some color. You know what else I could do? Of course, use my script stamp. I bet y'all get so sick of seeing this thing. Just gluing both sides of that fold. And then I'm also going to glue around my paper. And why are you doing that? I don't know. No idea. I guess I think I don't want to glue right in the seam because I don't know why. I don't. I don't know why I did it that way. I think it will fold better if I don't glue right in the seam. That's what I was thinking. So I'm just taking my fingernail and making sure that it has a really nice fold when I go over. But be gentle because I've done this before. Run my fingernail down through there like that and just rip the snot out of the paper. Yeah, I, I don't have a, I don't know how to be gentle. All right, so we kind of have our reinforcer there. Now I'm going to glue down this sheet. This will be in my pocket. Using the art glitter this time because I don't have any thread. I'm only doing paper to paper, so I don't need to bring out the bad boy. The strong arm, I guess. And again, I'm going to leave that little edge a little bit off the side there where I can get, I don't want it too much because I want it to be able to, has to be able to fold since it's going to be inside my book now. I'd like a little bit of it to show. Probably should have been more worried about getting it even, shouldn't I? Then my deckled edge. There we go. Now I'm going to cut my notch. We've got us an extra pocket. I'm going to glue this down. And again, I'm doing paper to paper this time, not thread. So I'm not going to worry so much, but I am going to ink the inside where I'm joining it just to give it, I don't know. Again, I don't really know why I'm doing it. I just doing it. And, this, I think this paper was, if I remember right, was maybe Bow Bunny or Graphic 45. I can't remember. But this tickles me that I get to use it and it's not going, when I say go to waste, I would use it, but really I don't need it. I mean, seriously, I have so many that I've made. It's like I don't need any more prototypes. I don't need any more journals for a long time. So there, I've added to 2 pages already. Got me 2 pockets and 2 more flips. And I'm just going to keep adding until this journal makes me happy and I feel like it's good enough that I would put it in my shop. And then, you know what? I never did show how to bind the cover on, which is kind of why I started the video in the first place. But I'm not ready to bind it on. But I am going to say, this is the piece, this 1/2 inch that I left to begin with when we did the waterfall. I'm going to reinforce this. It's just scrap of paper. So I'm probably going to, put some packaging or something, and I'm going to glue it to both sides. Then I have my covers. You know, the front one, and I'm going to put that all the way to the edge of, all the way in there. Same with the back piece, all the way in there. And I will make my eye holes. I don't know. I'm probably not going to use eyelets on this because I'm going to thicken it. On this one I did. So you can see I did eyelets, and that's what connected it all. But I am going to punch eye holes. And what I think, I have some of these really long brads, and I rusted them. And I think that's what I'm going to end up using on this one. And, you know, depending on how thick this starts getting, you know, this might get, because I've only done 2 pages, and look, it's really trying to fatten up on me. Maybe I won't do every single one like that, you know, with the extra page and the pocket. Maybe I'll only do that on some of them. I don't know. We'll just have to play with it and see what happens. And look, I've done something wonky there. I must have glued on my page. What did I do? Oh, by hinging it like that, I glued onto this front page. I didn't want to do that. So what I did was, accidentally, some of the glue seeped out onto the front page so that it couldn't lay flat. That's all. So now that I've managed to tear that, I'll either add washi and keep it, or I might just take it out and put some more of this tape and then move this to another section kind of thing. I don't know, but I hope I explained. Oh, and look what I did to the back. You know, this is where your last sheet is. I put a little bit of that ruffle. I found it on my desk just to kind of decorate it up a little better. Because on my prototype, that back sheet that all your papers are connected to just kind of looked like that, and it's tucked in. But so I just decorated it up a little bit. But anyway, I hope you like this idea. It's probably, I know, not a new idea, but this is what I'm going to do. And I also noticed, setting here, that this outside is getting thicker because that's where I'm doubling everything and where I'm putting a lot of my clusters. So I have an idea that I'm going to start later on. I'm going to start hinging to the inside so that it'll flip open, flip open. I have lots of ideas, but that's just a start, and that's where I'm going. I just thought I would take you along for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it inspired you in some way. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.